Hello, today we're here to talk about complex rules. And I'm going to do this in 3 parts so you can get to understand how to work with them, how to work with our app, and when you would need them. So the first part I'm going to go over is explaining what a complex rule is and some reasons you have and need them. The second part I'm going to go over are some examples of setting up the upload to edit or add complex rules to your store. And we'll go over some combinations so you can see how those play out. There gets to be a little complexity there. And then lastly, we're going to show you and talk about some gotchas, some other information you need to know about complex rules, because complex rules fit a very specific need, but they sometimes work, sometimes don't for some of the things that are built into them now because of the way BigCommerce currently works between V3 and V2 setups. Complex rules are specifically designed to add functionality you have in a V2 product experience to V3, but it doesn't replicate 100% of it. So let's get going. First, let's talk about complex rules. What are they? Now, complex rule is a rule that lets you adjust pricing, weight, or availability of particular combination of options that work with modifier options or customizations in V3, either in conjunction with other modifier options or in combination with variant SKUs. So that's a little complex, but let's just take an example. If I go in and go to create a rule right now, and I want to, in this example here, there's an option to add an image of an eagle or a dragon on this t-shirt. I can go and I can make the cost of the image change based on your selection. But I can only do that based off of that one choice. If I want to make a price change based on you picked the eagle and you put it on the chest, so 2 things in combination, you cannot do that. Or if I want to say, make it so you cannot purchase the dragon on a blue medium t-shirt, you cannot do that combination. There is no way to do that in the V3 admin. This is where complex rules come in. So now let's go through an example how to set that up in our uploader to apply those kinds of changes. So let's start with a simple example. I've got it set up here, but I'll go column by column so you can understand what I've got loaded here. Let's say on our example t-shirt, you wanted to make it so if you add an image of an eagle or a dragon to the back of a shirt, because it's a larger area, that it adds $3 to the price. So what I've set up here is I've downloaded from the store or downloaded the example file for the format of the CSV or Excel file you're going to upload to add the complex rules. So we're adding a new complex rule. What we're going to do is we're going to fill in the SKU. The SKU is the SKU of the base product. This is the item that we're going to put this rule on. Rule ID we leave blank because that's only filled in when you want to modify an existing rule. Then you have a sort order. This has to do with the order that it applies the rules. I highly recommend do not make rules that need to go in a specific order, so you can just leave this at 1. And then the rule itself is enabled. There's also a column for stopping processing rules. Once again, I recommend always setting it false. If you have a very specific need, there can be a reason to have it stop processing, but once again, that's if you have multiple rules that process in a specific order. We're not deleting the rule. We're not disabling purchasing of the rule, of the combination. And now what we want to do is we want to add a relative price change. Okay, you can do relative price changes, and relative price changes add $3 or add a specific amount. The other option, instead of a relative, is you can do a percentage change. So that would add 10% or add 20%. This is where things in order would make a difference if you have multiple that are changing price. So we're going to do a relative. We're going to make it $3 more. We are not adjusting the weight. And then what we do is we have to fill in sets of choices that this applies to. Okay, so we've got blocks. Each block has a modifier name, a value, and a SKU field. You will either, for each block, fill in the modifier name and value. These are for modifier options. Or you will fill in the SKU field. I'll show how that works on the next example. So what we've done is we've said, if they choose add an image of eagle, if they choose add an image of dragon. Now, since these are both the same modifier choice name, add an image, it works as an or condition. So if they pick eagle or dragon. And then for our third modifier choice here, we have put an image location of back. So that what this says is, if they add an image of an eagle or a dragon, and it is on the back, then it will add $3 to the price. So we're going to save this CSV. I'm going to go into the app and upload it. So for uploading, I'm going to go into import the rule, and I go to the app. I'm going to browse to find that file. Once it has uploaded the file, you're going to map the fields. Now, as long as you download and you don't change the field names, everything is going to map. You won't have to do anything. You can just click next. I'm going to have it email me when the upload is done, and I can hit submit. And that is it. Now I'm going to go back to the store after it imports and show you what that looks like. Okay, our upload is finished. We got the email that said it was completed. Now here's what it looks like in the admin. And this is where it gets a little complex. Complex rules don't really display 100% how you would think they would. You can see it's set up for add an image, eagle dragon, $3 to the price, and image location back, $3 to the price. That makes it look like it's going to add $6. But actually in BigCommerce's backend, it's stored as one rule. So those have to both be true for the $3 to add. So let's see what this looks like on the live store. Okay, I've loaded the product, very basic looking. If I go now, you see it's $10. If I say I want to add an eagle, if I add it to the sleeve, the price is still $10. If I add it to the back, you see it goes to $13. Same as if I change it to dragon. So you can see it does not double add, even though the admin almost looks like it does. So we're working on this. Now let's go see one more example. We're going to go and change it so that for this item, you cannot purchase a particular size and color combination when you put the dragon on the sleeve. So once again, the first part, we got the SKU, we enabled the rule, we're not stopping processing. We're putting purchasing disabled true so that we'll disable purchasing. And then I can put a message. Sorry, this image won't fit in this location on this shirt size. Now the key is when we get down to our combinations of choices and how they impact this. So what we've done is we've set this up so particularly the red small SKU, the green small SKU, and the blue small SKU. Because there are 3 color choices, we have to pick all 3 SKUs. So if they have picked any one of those SKUs, and they go ahead and pick that they want the dragon image on the sleeve, now it will disable purchasing. So once again, the way this works is, since these are all SKUs, it is an or condition. They pick this SKU or that SKU or that SKU, and they pick the image, add an image of a dragon, and they pick the image location of sleeve. So the combination of all that together will disable purchasing. I'm going to go ahead and upload this, and then we'll pull up the store so you can see how that looks. Okay, this is finished processing. Now, if you look in the admin, I can't see any combination of this, and it has to do with those SKUs being part of the rule. But the rule is there. You don't see anything here, But let's go to the storefront itself. If I actually go to the store and I'm looking at this t-shirt again, I've marked that if I pick any small SKU, so I'm going to pick green small, and I want the dragon on the sleeve, and I get, sorry, this image won't fit in this location, and the add to cart is disabled. I can do the eagle on the sleeve, that works. Dragon on the chest, that works. Dragon on the sleeve does not work. I can pick a medium, that works. So it's working for any small size, because we put in all 3 SKUs for smalls. If they pick the dragon on the sleeve, they cannot purchase it. Now for some final wrap up. Now, the first thing to do is remember that the complex rules may not show the way you think they would in the admin. It's because the admin isn't built for them. That's why you must use our downloader to get the file. Take the file, change it, upload it back. If you are updating an existing rule, make sure to keep that complex rule ID uploaded when you upload so it will know to change that existing rule. The other thing is there were things in the complex rules API that we did not include in the uploader. That included things like swapping an image that does not work and hiding choices of options. Those work in V2. They do not work in V3, even as a complex rule, so we do not put those on there. I do recommend that if you're getting to learn to play with this, try a test item first. I do also recommend downloading anything you're going to modify, especially if you are changing existing rules. Take that downloaded file and save it so you have a backup just in case you do something that you didn't expect to do. Always test. Always be sure and know that if you have any problems, you can contact our support. We're glad to help you out and take a look. The hardest part of the whole thing is making sure you understand how the rule goes in that file and how the logic works on those modifier sets. I know this is a very long video. I hope it's helpful and hopefully it makes sense to you. Feel free to reach out if you have questions.